Hello, hello. I'm Mindset Michele, and you're listening to episode number 4, Belief Bubble. Welcome to the I Cut the Mustard show, where a plant-based diet and small, simple moves make healthy change happen. And where we believe that you already have what it takes to slice through any barrier that stands in your way. Shing! You're sharp enough. You cut the mustard. Good morning. I have a little confession to make. I get so many great ideas whenever I wake up in the morning, so I want to just record them right away because that's what works best for me, and I just want to run into my studio and record them. But it's 5:30, 6 in the morning, and my office is just in my house, so I can't really be in there screaming my brains out and getting excited with you on the microphone whenever my children are sleeping. So here's my little confession. I come downstairs to my private, mobile, soundproof recording studio, also known as a minivan. And I drag my stuff down here and I just record for you guys because it's super fun, right? So that was a little fun fact there. But okay, so today, like I said, we want to talk about the belief bubble. And what is that thing? We all know that we walk around in a bubble, right? So obviously. But anyways, so this belief bubble is about why you aren't taking action on your goals. So let me give you an example. I work with a lot of clients who want to lose weight, right? Or I talk to a lot of people like that as well. You want to lose weight. You know exactly what to eat. You know just how to exercise. You've got all these ideas, right? You read these books. They have great ideas for you. You keep trying things, but you can't lose weight because you can't get yourself to do it and to stick with it, right? That's the biggest barrier for anybody trying to lose weight, or honestly anyone in any goal. You get excited about something, you do it for 2 weeks or so, and then you just get demotivated and you give up, right? Because you can't get yourself to do those things consistently. And it's not because you don't know what to do. You do. You have lots of great ideas, you know what to do, but you just can't get yourself to do it. So that's what this episode is all about, to help you see why it is that you're not doing those things and give you some ideas for how you can move forward. Sounds pretty awesome, right? Okay, so before we move forward with the belief bubble, I just wanted to review the model. This is a concept which I built the belief bubble on top of. But Brooke Castillo has this concept called the model, where she models what goes on in the world and how our brain works and why we're getting the results that we're getting. So in the model, it's called CTFAR. We talked about it already, but there's a C, a circumstance in your life, which is just boring facts, stuff that happens. Like, for example, I'm sitting in a van. It's really boring. Or my kids are awake. That's a fact, right? And then I have a thought about that fact. My kids are awake, so my thought is I can't record in my studio, right? And then you have a feeling based on that thought. I guess my feeling about that is, oh man, but I'm just going to do something else, right? Okay, that's not really a feeling. My feeling maybe is determination, right? So I have that thought, my kids are awake. I can't record in my studio, but I have a feeling of determination. So that leads me to an action, which is to come down here and record in my car. And my result is that I get the podcast done anyway. All right. If I had a different feeling coming from that thought, which was discouragement, then my result would be totally different. Do you see that? So I create my thoughts and my feelings come from those thoughts based on what I'm making them mean, right? And then I get a result based on those feelings because I have this action that pulls through, okay? So it's important to understand that concept that our results come from us, and they come from our thoughts and feelings, which lead to our actions and create our results, which is good news because it means that we can change our results. But in my last example of weight loss and struggling to change that, the problem was that we started with the action. We didn't start with the thought or the feeling. We started with the action. So when I went forward and I took action that I thought was going to get me the result that I wanted, I'm still having thoughts and feelings that I did before, like I'm disgusting, my body looks gross, things like that, which are giving me feelings of discouragement, which makes me want to give up, and it makes me want to go eat something, right? So it's sabotaging my result. Even though I'm taking the actions that are supposed to get me the result, I can't take them for very long because I'm sabotaging my result with my thoughts, right? So the belief bubble is another way to look at this. So I want you to imagine, if I could draw this on a board for you, I would, but we're on a podcast, so you just have to use your imagination. So I want you to imagine that I have a whiteboard, right? And on one side, I've got a little stick figure of you. And this you is the now you. You can write a now underneath in your brain, in your imagination. So you've got a little stick figure you, and this is your now. And everything that's going on, all the results that you have in your life right now are based on the thoughts and feelings that you have right now. So you can draw an imaginary bubble rainbow over the top of you, right? So there's you, and you've got this bubble around you. It's invisible. You don't see it, but it is controlling where you can go in life and the results that you're getting. Just like with the weight loss example, you have this bubble around you that are thoughts about you, they're thoughts about your body, they're thoughts about what you believe is possible for you. And that is what dictates how far you can go with your goals. So then I want on the other side of the whiteboard, I want you to imagine a stick figure of you. Looks exactly the same. Okay. And this is the new you, the new that you want to get to, that goal where you're 100 pounds thinner, or the goal where you love your body, right? The goal where I'm recording my podcast, right? That's the new me. That's a new you, the goal that you want to get to. So around that new you, there's also a belief bubble, right? And that new you is still operating around belief systems, and thoughts and feelings are creating that result over in that new place that you want to get to. So you've got the now you with a belief bubble creating your current results. And you've got the new you with a different belief bubble creating different results. And here's what typically happens that I explained earlier. The now you sees that new you that you want to be at, and they start taking action. They start walking towards that new version of you. But without moving that bubble along with them, they will start walking towards, and then bam, they hit the edge of that bubble, right? So you're taking action, but you haven't changed your belief, so the bubble hasn't moved, so you bam, hit into that bubble. So that's what's happening whenever you're starting to eat new foods. You say, okay, I'm not going to overeat today. I'm just going to eat salads all day. So then you walk towards that bubble, but after 2 days, you're starving. So you bump into that bubble. You say, this is too hard, and you bounce back to the way that you used to be. Okay? So what we need to do in order to get to that new you, that new bubble, is instead of just taking action, of course we've got to take action to get over there. We've got to walk over there. But instead of only taking action, you want to take some action to grab that bubble and move it over. Okay? So how do we do that? Let's go back to my podcast example. This has been so convenient. Let's say that I was discouraged and I didn't do my podcast today, right? I ran into that bubble. I said, this is too hard. My kids are awake. I can't do it. And I bounced back. I can't get that goal. What I can do is I can sit down and say, what's going on in my brain? And I can write it down. I can say, okay, my kids are awake. I can write the little model down like I did for you. My kids are awake. I'm having this thought that I can't do it. So I'm feeling discouraged, and the discouragement is leading me to inaction, so I'm not getting it done. So I can roll that out, and then I can say, well, what do I want? Do I want to get it done? Yes. So I can kind of work backwards. What action do I need to take? What feeling do I need to have in order to take that action, right? the action I want to take is to record my podcast. So the feeling that I want to have is something like determination or excitement. So then I think, what feeling is going to generate, what thought is going to generate that feeling for me, that feeling of excitement and determination. Okay, so I could have worked backwards. I could have gone over, grabbed that bubble, moved it over, and done my podcast, right? So this is what you can do with bigger goals as well. You can sit down with your journal. You can write out all the thoughts that you think you're having or all those feelings. You can plug them into the model, and you can just move them over one at a time. You can look at them. You can question them. You can create new thoughts and feelings that help you produce the new actions that you need to make it over there. Okay? And this is a lot of what Brooke Castillo teaches. Another way, but that sounds like a lot of work, right? So I've done it, and it's a lot of work, and it's totally worth it, by the way, to just run these models and do this thing. Another way to do it, though, to kind of hack the system, in maybe to hire a plane to pick up your bubble and take it over there for you, is to start thinking and believing and acting like that new version of yourself. Right? Where you're trying to get, that new place, there's a new bubble there. There's new thoughts. There's new feelings. There's new actions going on. There's new results. So if you want to be over there, you can't do it with your current bubble. You've got to create that new bubble. Yeah, just draw a new one, right? So how do we draw a new bubble? Well, we're sitting over there. Luckily, we've got an imagination that is fabulous because our brain is so amazing. So you think about that person. One way to do this is to imagine, right? So you can think about that new version of yourself. What would I be thinking when I'm 100 pounds lighter? What do I think about every day? What do I think about my body? How do I think I look? How do I feel about my body? What actions am I taking every day to ensure that I have that body, right? And then you already know the result that you want. So you can just spend lots of time in imagine land, and you can imagine what's going on there, and you can start thinking like that person there. When you start thinking like that person over there, you can also start feeling those emotions. The only thing that's keeping you from an emotion right now is you. That's it. You don't have to lose 100 pounds to feel like your body's amazing. I know that sounds impossible sometimes, but really you don't, right? You can generate that thought. You can imagine being 100 pounds lighter. Then you can imagine feeling amazing, and you feel amazing, right? So you have this fabulous imagination that you can use. You're in Imagine Land. You can start imagining those things. And then from that place of imagining, I want you to start believing it, that it's true right now. Right? You live over in Imagine Land. You live in that new place. It's exciting. It's fun. You know that you can do it. You start really believing it, and you start really acting as if you were in that place already. I tell my weight loss clients this, and they're like, what? You want me to do what? So for example, if I'm 100 pounds lighter, I'm going to look cuter. I'm going to go out and do funner things. I'm going to love my body more, right? But so if you think you're going to look cuter and wear cuter clothes, then you start believing that you look cute right now, and you start wearing cute clothes right now. Because what's that going to do for you? It's going to help you feel amazing. You're going to feel confident, which is going to generate totally different results than if you stay in your now zone and you think, I look ugly, you don't deserve to get new clothes until you lose that weight. That's called discouraging. So then that's leading you to the self-sabotage. I hope this is making sense. It sounds so easy, and it takes a lot of practice, so just be patient with yourself and live in Imagine Land. Do the work, start taking action. When you bump into that bubble, then say, aha, I found that bubble. No problem, this is part of the process. You evaluate what's going on, and you keep moving forward. And meanwhile, you spend time in Imagine Land, and you do whatever you can to take action from that new place. Then another great hack is, this is hack number 3 here, to hang out with people who have that result that you want, who've already reached that goal. So if I want to lose 100 pounds, I'm going to start hanging out with people who have lost 100 pounds. Because what's that going to do for me? Instead of just trying to imagine what they're thinking and doing, I get to see it in real life. I get to see, what are they thinking about their bodies now? What did they do to get there? And how are they feeling about their body right now? Then it's more vivid, it's more real. I can put myself in that place better. Yeah, I can put myself in that place better, and I can start having the hope that that's possible for me, right? So the beliefs are going to come a little bit easier. So that's wonderful. So find somebody who's already been there, or find a mentor who can help you have those thoughts and imagine and do those things. So a mentor or a coach is a great way to just have a plane come through, grab that bubble, and just drop it over in a new location, right? So there's my 3 tips. Number 1 is to just take action, run into that bubble, figure out what's up, and kind of work through it and change your thoughts. Number 2 is to go to Imagine Land, go to that now place, and spend as much time as you possibly can there in the imaginary world to think of what you're going to be thinking and feeling and believing, and just start taking action from that place. And number 3 is to get some groupies or some mentors or some podcasts. Start hanging out with people who think and feel and have accomplished that thing that you want to accomplish, because that makes your imagination job a lot easier. You'll start believing in yourself, and you'll make it to that goal a lot faster. That is the secret sauce. That's why you're not taking action. It's not because you don't know what to do. It's not because you don't know how to walk to that direction, okay? It's because there's this imaginary belief bubble that you don't even know that you're living in, and whenever you start walking that direction, you bump into it. And it feels frustrating, but now you know the secret of why you're self-sabotaging and doing those things, and why you can't get the result that you want, and now you know how to do it. So I'm super excited for you. I've got a handout down below as well with a little picture that I drew of you as a sticks person. If you want to download that, that'll be super fun. You can hang it up on your wall, and you can remember and start taking action. So I will see you next week on the podcast. Have a fabulous day. If you want to make some real change happen, sign up for a free 15-minute Make Your Move call today. It's a one-on-one sales-free call with me where we look at your goals and find which small move will make it happen for you. Go to icutthemustard.com/makeyourmove to sign up for the call today.